Hey y'all, welcome to week 8 of your first year of drum lessons, Drumset edition. My name is Penny Larson and I am super excited to have you with me today for our drum lesson. Today we're going to be working on paradiddles, we're going to be opening and closing a hi-hat, and we're going to work on some more 8th note drum beats, including some 2-bar phrases. So let's jump right in. The other day on the drum pad, we talked about paradiddles with accents. And that was down, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap. We're going to apply that to the drum set. We're not going to do them quite as separated as accents. We're going to take that accent note and instead of playing it louder, we're going to move it to different drums. This is kind of a primer. This isn't really where we're going to end up with this, but I wanted to introduce this concept today. We're at a point where we're going to be doing a lot of layering with different elements. So here's what I mean. We're going to take that accent, and with my right hand, instead of playing an accent, I'm going to play on the floor tom. And with my left hand, I'm going to play on the rack tom. So I get this. If you notice, I'm using a lot of that same up-down motion. I'm just using it to move from drum to drum instead of worrying too much about a snap accent down. Let me play that for you again. I'm going to start a little bit slower, and then I'm going to speed up a little bit faster. And maybe towards the end, I'll change up which toms I'm playing on, since I have a few toms to choose from. We're going to add, in the coming weeks, we're going to add double paradiddles and triple paradiddles and paradiddles, and you're going to see all the cool different melodic opportunities we have. But even just with single paradiddles, moving that note that's on the very first note of the paradiddle, you have tons of, even with just 3 toms, even with just 2 toms, you have tons of opportunity for melodic choices. I'm going to do that again real quick just to show you. So I'm going to use just this tom and the floor tom. So you can see how just by changing whether I go to the tom twice or to the floor tom twice, I can get some pretty interesting patterns. I won't start quite as slow. So even at this stage, if you're thinking melodically, you can use these patterns to come up with some pretty cool ideas. And I encourage you to improvise with everything we're doing as much as you can, because that's how this stuff is going to enter your playing. You know, it's fine to just play these a few times and say, oh, well, I can do them. Well, can you, though? A friend of mine a long time ago did a master class all based on mastery. And he pretty much spent 2 hours talking about paradiddles and different ways you can do them and different ways you can apply them to the drum set. And it really illustrated how most of us don't master everything we play. We pick a few things and we get really good at that thing that for whatever reason we like. But the more things that you take the time to master, the better drummer you're going to be. And you can start, if this really is your 8th drum set lesson, if you're following me and you just got a drum set and you're starting from scratch, you can start now thinking about mastering things. Paradiddles are a great thing to master. Okay, so that was one thing I'm not going to give you a printout for. Here's another thing I'm not going to give you a printout for. This is a really simple physical exercise. We're going to open the hi-hat on all of the offbeat 8th notes with our right hand. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, so I'm going to play 8th notes and I'm going to open on the ands. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so we're going to put that with a beat, and we're going to do a little trick. I want you to play both your feet on all 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, over and over again together. So like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then while you're doing that, add in your 8th notes with your right hand and your 2 and 4 with your snare drum. And suddenly you'll be playing kind of the basic disco beat. Okay? So let's try that. I'm going to start with just my feet and I'm going to add my hands. About the same tempo. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There are a million different ways we can talk about opening the hi-hat. Do you play the hi-hat when you close it? How far do you have the hi-hat open when it's at rest? You can see I tend to have my hi-hat crazy far open. This is mostly because I want to be able to get a really loud chick sound, and I want to be able to get a really good splash sound. Okay, so to facilitate that, I've found that it works best for me to have my hi-hat really wide open. A lot of people have their hi-hat much closer together. This is totally one of those things. There isn't a right way or a wrong way. For me, this works best. I encourage you to experiment. Then, how much do you open the hi-hat when you want that swish sound? My top cymbal at the moment is pretty loose, so I'm able to open them a pretty good amount. But if my top cymbal were tighter, let me do that really quick for you. Okay, so now my top cymbal is tighter. I'm not going to be able to open the cymbals as far and still have them swish together. All I'm doing is lifting my toe. Hopefully you can see that clearly. All I'm doing is lifting my toe. I'm kind of rocking my foot back just a teeny bit. And because I'm just using my toe and I'm leaving my heel on the pedal, I can adjust how much or how little I'm opening the hi-hat, right? This is a feel thing. Experiment a lot with this. You don't want right? That's too much. But likewise, you don't want, right? There's that happy medium. So that's cool. That's a little on the too closed side. The big thing is you want the cymbals to sizzle and kind of create like a static white noise, but pss, 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 right? Okay, so that's that. Work on that, get your feet going together, play the 8th note. But the thing you're really working on is trying to feel out how to get that right hi-hat sizzle sound. Okay? So next we're gonna do another. We do have some reading today, I apologize. These are some more 8th note patterns. The first 6 are more 1-bar patterns. I'm going to say something about number 6 after we play it. And then 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 are 2-bar phrases, which just means that up until now, we've been playing one measure and the bass drum part has been the same over and over again. In 7 through 11, the bass drum part changes from one measure to the next, and it can create a longer thought, basically, okay? So I'm just going to play through these really quickly for you. I'm trusting that you're working on your reading, and so reading these won't be too bad for you. If reading these still feels like, oh my God, I can't believe she's expecting us to read, that's why they're here, right? And that's why I'm playing them for you, so you can hear how they sound, you can play them, and then you can see how they look, and you can digest how they look. So then you'll be able to go in the opposite direction, right? If you can go from hearing how it sounds to then seeing how it looks, you should also be able to go from seeing how it looks to hearing how it sounds. And hearing how it sounds here first, and then making it sound that way here, okay? So I'm going to do what I did last time, which is play each one slowly a few times, and then I'll go back and just read through the whole page so you can see them kind of in a row. Okay? So number 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Number 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Number 3, 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Number 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Number 5. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Number 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, I said I was going to say something about number 6. If you notice, number 6, the bass drum is playing all 8 eighth notes. The right foot is doubling the right hand. If number 6 is tricky at first, the thing to do is start with your right hand and your right foot together, just playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then add your left hand on 2 and 4. But the thing that I really want to say about number 8 is we're playing all the eighth notes with number 6. If you can play number 6, you should be able to play any of the ones that have come up until now, because all of that's happening with the other ones is we're leaving some of those notes out. If you can play all of the notes, you can play less than all of the notes. Sometimes it might take a little extra practice to figure out how to leave out certain notes. But from a physical standpoint, if you can play all the notes, you are totally physically capable of playing fewer notes, okay? So remember that when you do number 6, you can think about, oh, well, I'm playing all the eighth notes, so now I should be able to play any combination of eighth notes because I can play them all, right? Okay, so let's go on. Number 7, like I said, here we start our 2-bar patterns. And you'll notice we're using the same elements, right? There's just quarter notes and eighth notes in the bass drum voice, but now it's taking 2 measures before the pattern loops around. Pretty simple, just a longer idea, okay? So number 7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, number 8, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Number 9, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Number 9 has that extended offbeat feel in the bass drum. And the only way to get that is with a 2-bar phrase, right? You've got to just keep doing the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And so if you miss 1 in the second measure, that's how to really set up that kind of continuous offbeat feel. Okay, number 10. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And finally, number 11, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so hopefully you can see there's, with just eighth notes and quarter notes and eighth rests and quarter rests on the bass drum, there's really a limited number of ways you can sort of make the groove sound funky, right? You just have to play it awesome to make it feel like something. We're going to be moving into 16th note patterns with the bass drum pretty soon, and then that opens up just a ridiculous number. I mean, it's exponential, right? How many more cool things we can do with the bass drum. But for now, practice these, come up with your own patterns. I certainly haven't given you all of them. Again, that Rod Morgenstein book, Drumset Musician, is a great resource that has a lot of overlapping patterns, but it has a few different patterns too. Come up with ones yourself, right? Explore eighth notes on the bass drum as much as you can. So now I'm going to play through this whole page. I'll play each one 4 times, which means 7 through 11, the 2-bar phrases. That's going to be 8 bars of each of those, because I'm going to do them 4 times through both bars. A little bit faster, not too fast though. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, some of those I think are really fun, and I hope you think some of them are really fun too. You're gonna have a much easier time of making these sound like music if they feel like music to you, right? So hopefully these feel like something for you, okay? Because like I say, especially down in the 2-bar phrase ones, they really feel kind of funky and fun for me. And that's how to, if you can move a little on the throne while you're playing, you don't want to be like crazy loosey-goosey, but if there's some motion in your body, there's going to be some motion in your music, okay? I always joke that I can't really dance, but I kind of dance through my drumming, right? And the same thing with these, even with very simple patterns, it's all about making the drums move, people making the drums move, other musicians making the drums move the music. Drums are all about airflow, sound pressure level, sound waves, pushing out regular rhythms, irregular rhythms, conflicting rhythms, harmonious rhythms. It's all about making other things move. You hit the drum and it causes this huge chain reaction of air moves between the top and bottom head and comes out of the drum in this beautiful resonant wave. And you just need to control it. If I was clever, I would have said you just have to ride the wave. But sometimes I'm not that glib. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's lesson. As always, the printout PDF for this will be down below in the doobly-doo. Eventually, I'll have cards up above, but you have to be a YouTube partner for that, and I'm not yet. So working on that. But so print this out because otherwise it's going to be really small. I've debated putting stuff on the screen while I play, and I don't think I want to do that. I think I'd rather you print these out. And by print out nowadays, I realize that might mean, look at it on your device. That's fine. I don't necessarily mean you need a piece of paper, but I'd rather while you were watching me, you were paying attention to what's going on the drums. And while you're reading this, you're paying attention to what's on the page. And I think if I work too hard to put this on the screen, I think it's just going to be not helpful. So maybe in the fullness of time, I will. I certainly have done things like that for past videos, but for this series, I'm thinking I don't want to do that. So yeah, that's why that hasn't been a thing yet. And that's why I'm making you print and or download these sheets. Okay, so what did we do? We did paradiddles moving the accents, we did the disco beat and some more 8th note beats. Next time we'll do more stuff with paradiddles and we'll do more stuff with opening hi-hat. And we're probably gonna go back to quarter notes on the ride cymbal so that we can start to talk about how to play the bass drum without the ride cymbal. So we're going to try and separate our right hand, right foot connection. We already did that a little bit with the We Will Rock You beat, but we're going to take it another step forward. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I say this every time, but I'm really excited that y'all are joining me for this year. And yeah, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you hate this video, give me a thumbs down. I understand. It's not for everybody. If you'd like to subscribe, if you're not subscribed, I would love that. That would help the channel a lot. If you want to know when I post new videos or when I go live or whatever, hit the little notification bell and then you'll get a notification. And I guess that's it. So hope you have a great weekend. Keep practicing. I know, broken record, sorry. But yeah, so have a great weekend. Practice, count, read your music, and I'll see y'all next week. All right, love you guys. Bye.